Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 3 of our course on organization and management. So this chapter will focus on leadership, the process of influencing and guiding individuals toward the achievement of organizational goals. We will also discuss the major leadership theories, and the lesson will also cover leadership styles. So by the end of this discussion, you will understand the importance of leadership in staffing and leading, and how effective leadership contributes to organizational success. Now, by the end of this chapter, students or you will be able to first define leadership and explain its significance in guiding individuals and teams toward organizational goals. Second, discuss major leadership theories, including the ideas that explain what makes leaders effective. Third, um, we will identify the different leadership styles, and we will understand how each approach influences employee motivation and performance. The fourth one is analyze the impact of leadership on organizations, particularly in relation to productivity, to culture, and the overall success. And finally, we will be able to recognize contemporary challenges and trends in leadership, such as adapting to change, managing diversity, and leading in dynamic environments. Now, these objectives will help you gain a comprehensive understanding of leadership, okay, as a vital function in staffing and leading. Okay, now let us begin by understanding what leadership really means, especially in the context of organizations and teamwork. So, leadership, by definition, is the process of influencing and guiding others toward achieving organizational goals. Now, in simple terms, it means helping people move in the same direction to reach a common goal. It is about influence. That means getting others to work together, not only because they are forced to, but because they are inspired and motivated to do so. So, in a group project, for example, the person who helps everyone stay focused and organized is already showing leadership. Okay? Now, it involves setting direction, motivating people, and creating a vision for success. A good leader gives the team a clear sense of direction, what needs to be done, why it matters, and how everyone can contribute. Leaders also keep the group motivated and focused on success, especially when challenges arise. Now, in your experience as a student, what makes someone a good leader in a group project or in a group activity? Okay, so some of you may be thinking that a good leader guides the team, or keeps everyone motivated, or a good leader helps the group stay focused on their goals. Now, here are the key points on leadership. Leadership is not just about authority, it is about influence and inspiration. Let me just grab my pen. Okay, so it's just not about authority. Okay, being a leader does not automatically mean having a title or position, because true leadership happens when people choose to follow you because they trust, they respect, and believe in your vision. For students, this could mean influencing your group to say cooperate and give their best even without being officially assigned as a leader. Okay, so leaders guide people while managers often focus on planning and control. So managers usually make sure that rules and plans are followed. Leaders, on the other hand, guide and um, they guide and motivate people to reach those plans. Okay, so in other words, management is about doing things right, while leadership is about doing the right things. Both are important, but leadership focuses more on people. Okay, then effective leadership ensures that employees are motivated, aligned with goals, and capable of performing at their best. So, a good leader makes sure that everyone understands the goals. They also feel encouraged and has the support needed to perform well. Because when people feel motivated and when they feel valued, they tend to produce better results, right? Whether in the workplace or even in a student team. Okay, so we have an example here. Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, transformed the company culture by promoting empathy, innovation, and collaboration. So Satya Nadella showed that leadership can change an organization's entire culture by encouraging empathy and teamwork. He created an environment where employees feel valued and became more creative and productive. So this reminds us that strong leadership starts with understanding people. Okay? Okay, now let's proceed with the significance of leadership and why leadership matters. Leadership builds a morale and unity. That means that means a good leader brings people together, helps them work as one team, and keeps everyone motivated even during challenges. Okay? Leadership drives organizational performance and productivity. So, when leaders set clear goals and guide their team effectively, performance improves and results are achieved faster. Okay, then the third is leadership encourages innovation, yes, and adaptability. Strong leaders support new ideas and help their team adjust to changes in technology, processes, or strategies. Then leadership shapes organizational culture and values. Leaders serve as role models. Their behavior influences how people in the organization act, communicate, and treat one another. So, the key insight here is that leadership is essential for creating direction and purpose within any organization. So, without leadership, people may work hard but lack a clear sense of purpose. Leadership gives direction and meaning to what everyone does. So, why is leadership important in a team or organization? What do you think? Or why do you think so? Yes, because it gives direction, motivates people, and unites them toward achieving shared goals. Okay, so in this part of the lesson, we will explore how scholars have tried to understand what makes a leader effective. Over time, scholars developed different theories to explain effective leadership. Researchers realized that there is no single way to define good leadership. Each theory focuses on different qualities, behaviors, or situations that influence how a leader succeeds. These include trait theory, behavioral, contingency or situational, transformational, transactional, and servant leadership. Each theory helps us see leadership from new perspective. whether it is about a person's traits, their actions, how they respond to situation, how they inspire others, or how they serve their team. Okay, so each theory offers unique insights into how and why leaders succeed. So by understanding these theories, we can see that leadership effectiveness depends on many factors, not just personality, but also behavior, adaptability, and purpose. Okay, so why do we study different leadership theories? Why do you think that we study here in BSIS? Okay, because yes, one answer that you may be thinking is that each theory explains leadership in a different way that will help us understand how and why leaders succeed in various situations. Okay, that uh, those behaviors and their leadership style that we can imitate and emulate. Okay, let us begin with the first leadership theory. This is the trait theory. The trait theory suggests that leaders are born and not made. Okay, I always hear that. This means that leadership comes naturally to certain people because of their personal qualities or characteristics. Leadership success depends on personal traits such as confidence, okay, intelligence, integrity, and sociability. So, according to this view, people who are confident, smart, honest, and good with others are more likely to become effective leaders. Okay, now, limitation. It ignores the role of training and experience. The weakness of this theory is that it overlooks how people can learn to be leaders through education and experience. So that's one limitation of the trait theory because they believe that leaders are born and that they're made. So example, great leaders like Abraham Lincoln and Mahatma Gandhi were admired for their honesty, their courage, and determination. So these leaders showed that strong character traits can inspire others and create lasting change. Now, according to trait theory, what makes a person a good leader? Okay, so it's here. A person's natural traits such as confidence, intelligence, integrity, and sociability is what makes it a good leader, or is what makes a person a good leader. Now, the next theory is what we call the behavioral theory, which looks at leadership from a different point of view. Behavioral theory focuses on what leaders do, okay, not who they are. Okay, so as the word itself, behavior, so that is anchored to what you do, how you behave. This means leadership is based on actions and behaviors, not just personality or traits. It suggests that anyone can become a good leader by learning and practicing the right behaviors. Do you believe so? So leadership can be learned and developed through behavior. Okay. In other words, leadership is a skill that improves with training, experience, and feedback, much like learning to code or to manage a project. So there are two common styles: task-oriented and people-oriented. A task-oriented focus on getting things done. That means meeting deadlines, reaching targets, and keeping work organized, while a people-oriented leader focuses on relationships. That means motivating the team, supporting members, and maintaining a positive environment. The best leaders know how to balance both. Okay, For example, a manager who balances achieving deadlines while caring for employees' well-being. This kind of leader ensures the work gets done but also makes sure the team feels valued and supported. Now, in a group project, would you rather have a leader who focuses only on tasks or one who also cares about the team's well-being? Like, have they eaten yet? Have you slept well? Okay, so also why? Okay, in a group project, would you rather have a leader who focuses only on tasks or one who also cares about the team's well-being and why? Okay, so most of you, I believe, would prefer a leader who balances both, someone who keeps the group productive while maintaining teamwork and motivation. Yes. Now, we have the contingency or situational theory, which explains that leadership is not one size fits all. There is no single best style of leadership. That means that what works in one situation may not work in another, right? A good leader adjusts based on what the team and situation need. Then effective leadership depends on the situation, task, and team maturity. Some teams need close guidance, while others prefer more independence. The right leadership style depends on how skilled, experienced, or confident the group is. Then leaders must adapt their approach to fit circumstances. So here flexibility is key. That means great leaders observe what their team needs and adjust their behavior accordingly. For example, um, here we have a crisis may require a directive leader, while a creative project may need a participative leader. So what does it mean? So for instance, during an emergency, quick decisions matter, so a more commanding style works. But in a brainstorming activity involving everyone leads to better ideas. Okay? Now, how would your leadership style change if your group was facing a tight deadline versus working on a creative project? Because I believe you experienced those moments when you were bombarded with a lot of projects and activities and deadlines are approaching. So, how would you manage that? How would your leadership style change if your group was facing a tight deadline versus working on a creative project? So some of you may be thinking at a tight or during a tight deadline, you would take charge and give clear directions, but in a creative project, you would say encourage everyone to share their ideas. Yes. Okay. Then we have the transformational theory. So this is a type of leadership that focuses on inspiring people to go beyond what's expected. Leaders inspire and motivate followers to exceed expectations. Transformational leaders encourage others to do more than what is required. They bring energy and purpose to the group. You might agree that when someone inspires you, you naturally want to do better, right? Not because you have to, but because you want to. This theory focuses on vision, inspiration, and personal growth to followers. These leaders create a strong vision that everyone can believe in. Okay? Have you ever worked with someone who made you feel capable and confident? That is the kind of motivational or motivation transformational leaders give. Okay, and it also encourages innovation and commitment to shared goals. Transformational leaders make people excited about change and open to new ideas. They make the team feel part of something bigger than themselves. For example, Steve Jobs. I know most of you know him. Steve Jobs, the former CEO of Apple, the brain of Apple. Okay, so Steve Jobs inspired Apple employees to think different, driving innovation and excellence. Steve Jobs challenged his team to create something new and extraordinary. His vision and passion motivated others to innovate, and that is the essence of transformational leadership. Okay, next we have the transactional theory. This is a leadership style that focuses on structure, rules, and results. It is based on rewards and punishments to achieve performance. This means leaders use clear systems. When you perform well, you are rewarded. When you fall short, there are consequences. You might have experienced this too, right? Like getting bonus points for submitting work early or reminders when you miss a requirement. Then it focuses on structure, goals, and compliance with the rules. Transactional leaders value order and discipline. They make sure everyone knows their task and follows the plan correctly. This works well when roles are clear and there is a need for consistency. Then it's best for stable or routine tasks. In situations where work is repetitive or procedural, such as sales, production, or office operations, this leadership style helps maintain efficiency. Okay, for example, a sales supervisor gives bonuses for achieving targets and warnings for underperformance. Okay, this shows how transactional leadership motivates through external rewards. When goals are met, people are recognized. When not, they are guided to improve. Yeah. Have you ever felt more motivated when there is a reward for doing well or a clear consequence for missing a task? Yes, rewards and clear expectations can push people to perform better, which is the main idea behind transactional leadership. Okay, the last theory we will discuss is servant leadership, a style that focuses on serving others first before leading them. The leader prioritizes the needs of others before their own. Servant leaders put their team's well-being and success ahead of their personal gain. They lead by helping, not by commanding. For example, in school, this could be a group leader who makes sure everyone understands the task before submitting their own part. Okay? Then the second one is it promotes trust, empathy, collaboration, and ethical behavior. These leaders listen to their people, understand their challenges, and create an environment where everyone feels valued and respected. So in business, leaders like Howard Schultz of Starbucks are known for this approach. He focused on employee welfare, offering fair pay and opportunities for growth. Okay, and it encourages growth and empowerment within the team. Servant leaders develop others to reach their full potential. When team members feel supported, they perform better and contribute more to shared goals. Okay, and we have an example here, a school principal who focuses on helping teachers and students grow rather than chasing metrics. This kind of leader measures success by people's growth and happiness, not just by numbers or rankings. Okay? Now, in summary, we have learned that leadership can be understood in many ways. Some theories focus on who the leader is, like that great theory, while others focus on what the leader does, like behavioral theory. The contingency or situational theory reminds us that leadership must adapt to different situations, while transformational theory highlights the power of inspiration and vision. The transactional theory focuses on structure, rewards, and performance, and servant leadership teaches that true leadership begins with serving others first. Overall, there's no single formula for great leadership. What matters is how leaders guide, how they inspire, how they support people to achieve their shared goals. Now that we understand leadership theories, let us move on to leadership styles, the different ways leaders guide and motivate people. Leadership style refers to the approach a leader uses to influence and work with others. Each style fits certain situations and personalities. The common leadership styles include autocratic, where the leader makes decisions alone, democratic, or participative, where everyone has a voice, laissez-faire, where the team has more freedom, transformational, which focuses on inspiration and vision, transactional, which relies on structure and rewards, and servant leadership, which puts people's needs first. Okay, so each style has its own purpose and works best in certain situations. So let's go over them one by one in the next slide. Now, um, let's start with the first three leadership styles and see how each one works best in different situations. First, we have autocratic leaders or autocratic style. The leader makes decisions alone and expects obedience. And this style works best in emergencies or when quick decisions are needed, like when time is limited and someone must take charge right away. Next is democratic or participative. Here, the leader includes the team in decision making. Um, it is most effective when collaboration and new ideas are valued, such as in planning, brainstorming, or creative work. Then we have the laissez-faire style. This style involves minimal supervision and gives the team more freedom. It works best when employees are skilled, when they're responsible and self-motivated, because they can manage their task independently. So each of these styles has its own strength. So the key is knowing when to use them. Let's move on to the next set of leadership styles in the following slide. Now let's continue with the next three leadership styles. These styles focus more on motivation, structure, and serving others. First, the transformational style. This style inspires and motivates towards a shared vision. It works best when innovation and change are needed. For example, a leader who encourages the team to develop new ideas or improve processes shows transformational leadership. Then we have the transactional style. Let me just grab my laser pointer. Okay, the transactional style focuses on rewards and punishment. And it is most effective in structured or rule-based environments, such as sales or production, where performance can be clearly measured. So, can you recall a time when rewards motivated you to perform better, maybe in class or a group project? Okay. Um, Next is the servant leadership style. This focuses on the needs and growth of others before personal interest. It works best when building trust and maintaining a strong ethical culture is important. So, would you trust a leader more if they showed genuine care for their team's well-being. Yes, of course, because it shows that the leader values people, not just results. So each leadership style is effective. Great leaders know when to inspire, when to organize, and when to serve. Let's now look at what happens when leadership is effective and positive inside an organization. Positive leadership leads to higher employee motivation and engagement. When leaders appreciate and support their people, employees feel more motivated to do their best, just like in a group project. When the leader values everyone's effort, the team becomes more excited to contribute. Then it also builds stronger teamwork and communication. So a good leader encourages open discussion and cooperation. Everyone feels heard, which makes teamwork smoother and more enjoyable, similar to how class discussion work better when everyone shares their ideas. Positive leadership increases productivity and innovation. So when people feel safe and valued, they are not afraid to suggest new ideas or try better ways of doing things. So in a company, that often leads to creative solutions and improved results. Also, it creates healthier organizational culture. Leaders who model respect and fairness build trust across team. This creates a workplace where people actually want to stay and grow. For example, um, a transformational leader inspires employees to take ownership of their work and achieve team goals. Imagine a team leader who encourages everyone to think creatively and take responsibility. That kind of leadership helps people to feel proud of their work and pushes the group towards success. So, have you noticed that when a team leader is encouraging, everyone performs better? Yes, because positive leadership makes people more confident, more engaged, and willing to give their best effort. Just as good leadership brings positive results, poor leadership can have the opposite effect. It can lead to low morale and high turnover and conflicts within the team. Communication breaks down, trust and efficiency decrease, and people lose motivation. For example, an overly autocratic leader who ignores team input may cause frustration and burnout over time. This reminds us that how a leader treats people directly affects how well they perform. Okay, now in today's world, leadership looks very different from how it used to be. Leaders now face rapid changes in technology, a more diverse workforce, higher expectations from employees. Because of this, modern leaders need to be adaptive, okay, ready to adjust to change. They should be ethical, making fair and responsible decisions, and inclusive, valuing everyone's voice. They also have to be tech savvy. That means using digital tools effectively. Also, empathetic, understanding what their people need and feel. In short, great leaders today combine skill, heart, and adaptability to guide teams in a fast-changing world. Leadership today continues to evolve with the times. Let's look at some key trends shaping how leaders work in the modern world. First, we have digital leadership. Leaders now manage virtual-based teams using online tools to connect, collaborate, and make decisions, something many of us experience during online classes and remote work. Second, inclusive leadership. Modern leaders value diversity and fairness, making sure everyone, regardless of background, feels respected and included. Third, ethical leadership. This trend emphasizes integrity and transparency, doing what is right even when no one is watching. Trust is the foundation here. Fourth is agile leadership. Agile leaders respond quickly and flexibly to change. They stay calm under pressure and adapt fast, a valuable skill in a constantly changing workplace. And finally, sustainability and social responsibility. Leaders today think beyond profit, caring about the environment, communities, and long-term impact. So these trends remind us that leadership today is not just about results. It's more of values, more of people and adapting to change. Okay, while leadership today offers many opportunities, it also comes with new challenges that modern leaders must learn to handle. First, managing remote or hybrid teams. Many teams now work online or in mixed setups. Leaders need to keep everyone connected, motivated, and aligned even when they are miles apart. Second, addressing mental health and burnout. Leaders today must recognize when their team members are overwhelmed and create a supportive environment that encourages balance and well-being. Third, balancing performance and empathy. It is not enough to demand results. Leaders also need to understand and care for their people. The best leaders combine both heart and accountability. Fourth is building trust during uncertainty. In times of change or, say, crisis, people look to leaders for honesty and direction. Trust becomes the foundation that keeps teams strong. For example, after the pandemic, many leaders had to find ways to keep their teams productive while still caring for their emotional and mental health. So, as John C. Maxwell said, a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. We have reached the end of our discussion on leadership theories and styles under staffing and leading. In this chapter, we learned that leadership is about influence, direction, and inspiration. We explored different theories and styles, each showing that effective leadership depends on how we guide, motivate, and support others. So, in today's world, good leaders must be adaptable, ethical, and empathetic, leading with both skill and heart. So, thank you for listening, and I hope you have learned something valuable from this lesson. See you in the next chapter. God bless us all.